Hi, friends. This is March the 3rd, 2025, and I'm going to tell you two or three times I could have been a millionaire with just a small amount of money. I'm passing this along because you're probably a little bit younger than me, and these opportunities come around more than you think. Now, when I name these companies that I could have made $1 million in, you're going to say, there's no way new companies are going to be that low. That's a joke. Um, a lot of companies do start low. I just thought about this one. This wasn't on the agenda tonight, but Boston Beer Company, Sam Adams, he was a guy that had a job in the daytime and made beer at night in his basement and then went out and delivered it. Sam Adams Beer. Well, I was in Louisville, Kentucky, and I saw his beer. He had it. He had gotten it into one of the liquor outlets, and there was a little tag around it, and he was selling his own stock. He had gotten it approved by the Securities and Exchange Commission, of course, to um, sell his stock. And I could have taken that label right off of bought a carton of beer and taken that label and bought as many shares of his stock that I wanted. It wouldn't have been much because nobody would take it seriously. Maybe maybe a buck a share, maybe 50 cents a share. I thought I thought there's just no way this is going to go. Well, it did, and I didn't look it up for this session. I just thought of it. I'm going to tell you something funnier. I'm going to tell you a stock that was 4 cents, and you didn't get in on it, and I didn't either. It's called Apple Computer. You ever heard of Apple Computer? Well, I'm not going to name all their products, but they split so many times they probably made more millionaires than any one company could. I just started buying it in the last few years, and it's my tops. It's basically what I live on. I'll sell some if I need. It keeps going up and up and up, and when it gets up so much, it'll split into uh, more affordable shares. So if you have, last time I think one share split into 7 shares, with each of the 7 shares being 1/7 of the whole share. And it keeps doing that over and over and over and over. Not just split 7 times, that's just what it did last time, as far as I believe. Okay, so I could have bought that Apple at 4 cents. And I had another chance to buy it at 10 when they fired Steve Jobs. And they almost went bankrupt. They went down to $10. I remember because I was in Circuit City looking at they had just hired Steve Jobs back, and he was making colored computers for schools, primarily targeted for schools. And I thought this wasn't the worst of it. IBM had fallen from about $100 down to $10. I thought this is it for the personal computers. And I said, there's no way I'm going to buy stocks in personal computers. Well, I don't know how many $100 a share IBM is, because they don't split like Apple kept splitting over and over and over so more people could buy. See, they want people to buy not only their products but their stock. So if anything's come close to bringing me up to a reasonable amount of money, Apple has far exceeded any one stock I own, and I don't own that many. Half a dozen. Second one, I bought this a little too late. Google. It went public at about $2.49 in September 3rd, 2004. I looked at it in the newspaper. Of course, we didn't have the computers then that we had then. So I looked in the newspaper every day. I said, who in the world, what in the world is Google? But the problem that I saw, let me get my Coke here, is that it kept going up every day. I'd sit on the floor looking at the paper. What the heck is Google? And who's buying it? Well, I bought some in the last year. Google owns what I'm doing right now. They created it. Did you know that? They got so many fingers and so many projects, it's funny. Now, let's talk about Amazon. Amazon calls me up, the owner. This would have been about 19, let's see. I came out with a lot of books on alternative fuel for cars. My top seller was that I wrote and published was Forget the Gas Pumps, Make Your Own Fuel, and the other one I never launched right called Making Moonshine Fuel. Or no, Run Your Car on Moonshine. But anyhow, Forget the Gas Pumps, Make Your Own Fuel. We were printing 10,000 at a time, 12,000 at a time, shipping them all over the English-speaking countries. He'd call up when he started out. He's from another country, and he's an immigrant here, and he came here to make $1 million and to give us a good service. And we're talking about Amazon now. That's where I bought my computers and everything. Anything I buy is almost on Amazon because I'm just too high elsewhere. So he calls me up, and I think I hung up on him the first 2 times. I was a book publisher then. I published my own books that I wrote. I wrote poetry books. I wrote a book called, like I said, Forget the Gas Pumps, Make Your Own Fuel, that became a top seller. Hit the bestseller list. Certain ones, there's a lot of lists. He says, I'm running a bookstore. Do you have a discount for bookstores? And I said, yeah. He said, I'm calling from Amazon. I said, well, if you're calling from Amazon, that's in another country. I'll probably have to charge a little bit extra money to airmail them to you so you'll get them in time. He says, no, Amazon's not in another country. It's in Washington, Seattle, Washington, I think he said. He was taking the books that he ordered from people like me to his car and taking them to the post office. That's how Amazon started. Did you know that? Did you know he started from his home and putting the inventory that he could get in the car? Mostly books at the all books in the beginning, and took them to the post office himself. True story. I talked with him. Not recently. He sold the company, didn't he? He sold his company, but I think he's still in charge in some manner. Okay. I could have bought his stock very low. Well, $18, then it fell. I think it fell down. I mean, what's Amazon? So stocks fluctuate up and down. So it could be $18 one day, and it could be $6 the next, because people had hopes when they bought it initially. That's called a public offering. And then so many people think, what did I just do? Too many people start selling it to get out of it. I had several other times I could have bought it low. But I was told it was going to go bankrupt because the big bookstores were going to be sure. They stayed open. And they all closed. Walden Books closed. B. Dalton Booksellers closed. Borders closed. The only ones that's open now is Books A Million, and they're very scarce around the country. And also Barnes & Noble's got a few stores. They both are online also. So there's your two chain stores that that's still in operation as far as I know. Okay, one last thing. I got to share this because I laughed about it. I think it had gotten down to about $1. This guy comes up, salesman for this company. It's a kidney dialysis company. So I'm in a building with his brother, and we're talking about this company has plans to buy up as many as they could other kidney dialysis. Even though I was in healthcare then, I thought, what the heck? It's already fallen down to $1. It went public in 1995 at $4.08. I didn't buy it. It started buying one after the other, and I don't think I put down the price. Did I put down the price of what it is now? No, I didn't. But it kept splitting. It went so high people couldn't afford it. That's when they split it, so that more people can buy it. They might take one share and say, we're going to give you 5 shares for it. That way, new people can enter in that couldn't afford it at the current price. That's how this market works. That's what happened when I really loaded up on Apple. I bought it maybe at one fourth or 1/5 of what it's worth now, but it's split. See, what I mean is it's worth 5 or 6 times more than when I bought it. Okay, what's the takeaway? The takeaway is when you see a company that has potential, study it. Learn as much as you can about it. Call the investor relations department if you have to. Now, I've lost money on a lot of stocks that I didn't do that. I'm not going to name them. I'm going to just tell you that they include all the electric companies other than Tesla, all the electric car companies, all the battery charging companies for those electric cars that never made it. I would say I lost about 80 to 90% of my investment, which was heavy in that group. And then I did the same daggone thing with marijuana stocks. Marijuana was supposed to take over America, wasn't it? So I went ahead and I bought every marijuana stock I could. California was making it recreational. I think Oregon was making it recreational. Other places were making it medical grade till it became recreational. Well, no. I lost 80%. I had to sell it. It was falling faster than I could eat. So, electric cars, marijuana. Lost a lot of money. Made up for it with Apple, Google, and Amazon. And maybe a chip company. There's a chips are a big thing now. Everything uses chips. I'm a tiny bit into blockchain, not blockchain, but Bitcoin. Very little. Very little. And now with the new president, he's pretty much thinking that he's going to like the different coins or crypto coins, cryptocurrency. He may have made one himself. I think he did. So what we're saying here is beware. You don't need more than about 7 different securities. And when I say securities, I'm talking about just the few things we're talking about. I'm not saying buying 25 or 50 different companies. I'm saying 7. 7's a good number. I've trusted it. I bought more than that, and you can't follow too many stocks. You want to watch the ones you have carefully. If you have more than 7, it's not going to be a joyride to check on how the news on each one each day. And I don't do it each day, but I keep a general look at the price fluctuation most days. Having said that, this I probably said somewhere else, in 1987 and 1988 and 1889, the stock market had what was called the major recession. I bought every stock I could below $1 that I recognized. Some went bankrupt, 90% didn't. And when that Great Recession returned, this is after everybody sold their stocks and got out of their retirement plans, and their financial advisor says you better get out and go in cash. I started buying. I started borrowing money. Paid off the house after the recession was over, which began recovering in about, it started 1968 and 1990. Yeah, I think that it was about 1990. Started recovering real heavy. So I'm sitting on cash because I bought stocks for $1, and now they were going up toward $35. Some of them. One bank stock, I think it was Bank of America. I couldn't believe it. 95 cents. Bank of America, 95 cents. Harley Davidson, $3. Now, I broke that rule. Bought Harley Davidson. It ain't no $3 stock now. Neither is Bank of America. So you take advantage. I hope you've learned something from this, because I started the hard way, and I lost a lot. But you only need a few winners. Just realize you only have to be right 51% of the time if you have the right stocks. You can lose the other 49%. If you've got the right stocks and they're 51%, and it wouldn't even have to be that high if you had things like Apple and Google and all that when it started out. Be a millionaire, 2 or 3 times a millionaire. If I've been helpful, feel free to subscribe and hit help. I mean, not help, but like. Help. Yeah. If you want help, I'll give you help. Hate to end it, but I got to. You take care. God bless you now.